Hello and welcome to Riverbend. I'm Jo-Ann Blondin, gardener and nature lover. In August 2021, my family and I began transforming our rural property in Eastern Ontario into a food forest. This video takes you back to those early days of planting and nurturing our little orchard. Join us for the journey that has taken years to share and a lot of hard work.
Hello, my friends. Today we're going to take you through a little bit of a journey of where we are right now and where we were. So right now I'm at Riverbend. This is a rural property that we're the stewards of. It's a very relaxing place and it's on a river in Ontario. It is just a lovely place to relax and let your shoulders down. And it's been the place that we have enjoyed for 15 years. And recently we've had our children, due to the current situation, spend a lot of time here, living here at like 4 to 6 month intervals. So the place has really evolved over time. And so I just wanted to share with you some of the things that we're doing here at Riverbend that is going to make it a wonderful place for years to come. So this is a beautiful poplar alley that we created years ago. Some are strong, some are weak. We're really hopeful that next year they come back because these trees were totally stripped of all of their leaves from the caterpillars, and they have produced a second show of leaves. But we do know that there are caterpillars waiting to come out next year. Let me just show you. So all of these brown spots that you're seeing here, these are all the moths that have laid eggs. So we know we're coming into another bad year, and we're really hopeful that all our trees don't die. Let me just show you the spruce that were here. You can see this one's not doing very well, and the one behind it that is really just sticks at this point is totally not going to live. Here's another view of that tree. This tree was very rich and full and was totally stripped clean. You can see that the tree has produced all sorts of cones ready to plant for the future for another generation of trees, but sadly we're going to have to cut that baby down. Our apple tree here was also stripped clean of every apple, every blossom, every leaf. Now it has come back in full leaves, but there's no apples to be found on that tree. And to give you a view, here's the birch trees. You can see them up here. They are very light this year. This is a second show of all of those leaves. Thankfully, the beautiful sugar maple was not harmed, but we have fingers crossed on how the entire forest ecosystem is going to come back. So at this time, what I'm going to do is just focus on my gardens, things I can control. So let's go clean those up and I'll show you what it looks like after. It's a beautiful time of year. We've just had a big rainstorm, which was so very much needed here. You can see we actually have an outdoor cook area right now because it's been so hot. We didn't want to cook inside. We don't have air conditioning here at Riverbend. So every morning we get up, we let as much cool air come in, and then all doors and windows and blinds and everything are shut to try to keep that cool country air in and the heat and the humidity from the day out. So it's now in the afternoon, and with the rain, we've been able to leave everything open all day long. But you can see it's, as always, every one of my gardens is a working garden. I just made some beautiful wreaths, and you can see all of the leaf discard is just over there, but I've got 3 wreaths that are drying now. They're from grapevines. We just picked up a new hose end for this particular hose because the other one I ended up being soaked, which was okay with all of the hot weather. But as it gets a little further into the season, it's not going to be so great. I also have a bunch of seedlings, seeds that I'm just hoping are going to take off. You can see that we already have a few. Let me just open this up. That have started, but it seems to be the ones that are along this row and not so much success with the other ones. So fingers crossed that in the next couple of days we'll get more germination. With the heat, it's been really hard to know what's going to take off, but look how beautiful all of these lime, I think these are little lime hydrangeas, although I did find a tag the other day that one of them is not. So we'll just wait and see how they all sort of come out. These arrangements here are just beautiful in the sense that they are really low maintenance, really pretty much just watering once a week for us, maybe a Friday, Sunday. That's it. However, we have people staying here all season long this year, so things are getting a little bit more water. So hard to say whether those impatiens would do so well. Now, we just bought a little battery-operated whipper snipper, and I just used it, partially why I'm out of breath. A lot more work than I anticipated, a lot heavier than I anticipated, but I do like the way it's given me a nice, fresh, clean line. Now, let me just show you what we did up in this beautiful pasture. It's always been a maze of like paths and milkweed and all different flowers growing, so let's just go up and explore. It's a beautiful time of year where we get all of the asters. All of these flowers here are pretty much self-seeded. These trees here have grown by themselves, but all of the other trees along the top here, the pine trees and the spruce, my husband planted when they were just little seedlings from our local conservation area. What we did recently was plant an orchard. So this tree here is the ambrosia. It's a beautiful apple that stays nice and green. It doesn't brown when you eat it. And then I'll just take you around and show you what else we planted. Walking up here. Here is the Honeycrisp, I believe. One of my son's favorites. And then just right over there with the red tag is an Empire apple. So we tried to pick apples that were going to be family favorites. And then let's show you what else. This is a Zone 5 garden in Canada. So everything here is for, I would say, like a Zone 4 in the US. This is a Reliance peach. And we have 2 of them. They'll probably give us at least 60 apples per tree next year. Beside that Reliance peach is a Bartlett pear. And then over there we did a Clap pear. You need 2 pears for them to actually cross-pollinate and to give you fruit. So we're good there. We didn't need 2 peaches, but we were excited about that. So we planted 2. And then up here at the top, we have a Royal Gala, which is my kid's personal favorite. So it's got the top view of the entire orchard. Now, what you may not be able to see is that the orchard is actually planted in like a ring. So we have the Royal Gala sitting by itself. This is the next row. And then in this row here, we actually have an older apple tree that's been here for quite a while. And over there, we have a cherry tree with 4 different kinds of cherries on it. This is a sour cherry right here. And then down over there with that red tag again, that is the Empire apple. And then let me show you what else we did, because you couldn't just stop with 10 fruit trees. You needed to actually up it 1 more. So I'll just give you one more view. There's that Empire. The apple trees are here. This is cherry. So picture this in the springtime. We're going to have beautiful pink blossoms, and we'll have the white blossoms of the other fruit. Every one of these trees are going to go from 10 to 20 feet tall. And so they'll give us more privacy as well as the years go on. Now, down towards the bottom of the hill, we actually did blueberries, which you can see over there, and we did them in lanes. So that's Blueberry Lane. We have pretty much 3 different kinds of blueberries over there. The variety is called Duke, and it is a high bush blueberry and great for the zone. There's 2 down at the bottom that are unknown because the tags came off, and I bought them and they may not work for this zone because I bought them from my home. Here we have raspberries in Raspberry Lane. We have a June variety. This one is called Nova, and this is Polana. And Polana, or Pollyanna, it is both a June and a late harvest. So it's called an everbearing, but really it's 2 times of year. And so we just planted everything within the last couple of days. It has been incredibly hot, like the humidity making it 40 degrees Celsius. and incredible sun. So everything has required a lot of water, and everything has started to grow already. So one other lane I want to show you. This is our honeyberry lane, and honeyberries are a beautiful berry that we've never tasted before, and they say it's a bit of a surprise berry. It tastes like peaches and all sorts of other fruit all mixed together, so we really hope we like it. We bought one. The nursery gave us 2 other ones because both of them had a bit of powdery mildew on them, and they weren't sure if they would survive, but you do need 2 to cross-pollinate. So this one has already got new leaves. The middle one, which was the one we purchased, new leaves as well. And the bottom one has just, it did not look good when we first bought it, and it has like bounced back. Very happy in its new position. And then over here, we have blackcurrant and red currant. We have red currant, black, red. So really excited to see all of these pieces come together. And there's that empire apple one more time. So to give you an idea, at the beginning, we were just standing over there by our front. And as you turn around, you can see here's honeyberry service lane. No, sorry, those are currant. Honeyberry currant lane. And then we have raspberry lane. And then let me just take you over to the blueberries. So we're at the bottom of blueberry lane, leads right up to the old established apple that last year we had 2 bushels of apples without even trying. This year the gypsy moths ate all of the leaves and all of the blooms, so we had nothing. So fingers crossed for next year for all of our harvest. But here's blueberry lane. Now envision with me, what we're thinking of doing is building pretty little arches over the front of each of these lanes. Over here, we have our pine lane and our spruce lane. It's getting really tight, so we may have to actually change the direction of that particular lane that it comes on this side, but we will see. But for now, we're going to celebrate all the great work that we did. And you can see all of those beautiful pines, the white and the red pines sitting behind the entire orchard. In front of it are some sumacs, and we've been cutting out some of the sumacs because we don't want them to steal the precious water that's going to be in this hill. And they can become overbearing and quite noxious in terms of a weed. So we're trying to manage that. And we are also trying to make sure that we saved as much of the beautiful milkweed for all of the butterflies. I wish I could capture one for you so you could see how gorgeous the butterflies are. Oh, and let me show you one other cool thing that we did in Raspberry Lane. So in Raspberry Lane, we still have to put the wires up that are going to support all of our berries, but you'll see that there's some metal posts. Now, these metal posts are from a project that my daughter did. She purchased a wheel trans bus that was out of commission. Now, it was out of commission, but it allowed her to actually leave those parts behind. And so 2 years later, we've got the opportunity to use them. They are going to be our support wires or guides for our wires that need to go across here. We left part of the yellow bumper on there to sort of give it a sunshiny kind of look. And so this is a great upcycling project for us to be able to figure out a great inexpensive way for us to support these raspberries as they grow, and to also make sure that things don't end up in the landfill when they could have a second life. So again, just from a little further away, we have Blueberry Lane, picture it with a cute little archway, or even just as it is for now, Raspberry Lane, Honeyberry Currant Lane, and then all in the back, we have all of our beautiful orchard. It is just going to be stunning as the years go by. Now, they say that the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. That's when we did all of the pine trees. That was about 15 years ago. And so today we are doing our beautiful orchard, because the next time to plant a tree is right now. So if you have a dream and you have a vision and you're thinking, I might want to grow an orchard, get out there, just do it. This is a great time to pick up some great plants at the end of the season. We were able to get these trees all at 30% off, as well as all the berry bushes. So it just means extra watering, extra care before you actually plant everything, to make sure you don't lose them in the heat. But we're confident that we're going to be able to nurture these and give them a really good home. And although next year we might not have a great harvest from this, it is absolutely going to be, in 2 years from now, we'll be very grateful. Now, if we decide to sell our property as well, just keeping that in mind, it's always a card to sort of say, do you keep a property? Do you not keep a property? Selling a property with an orchard and established, nice, clean, new berries is an awesome feature that I think anybody that wants to come here would say, wow, that's a really cool thing to have. For our garden vision this year, what we did is I tried things in pots. I wasn't sure who was going to be here, if things would get watered, so I just did really good potting soil that holds a lot of moisture. Luckily, we've had people here almost the whole summer, so things are growing, but it was late to be planted, so some of the things aren't doing so great. What you see, these posts over here, these are me drying out some posts so that I can use them as nice stools. I want them to be kind of that bleached look. And the other project that we got done this year was a little garden. This garden has been here for quite some time. It's often just covered with weeds. And what we decided to do was make this an asparagus patch where it just comes back every year. We're trying to think of like perennial gardens and things that we could harvest, just like we do with the sumac, where we make beautiful sumac tea. We wanted this to be also a beautiful garden for us. So I planted a bunch of corns in the springtime, and you can see these ones have all come up. The 2 or 3 taller ones that you see, those ones are the ones that we bought just at the garden center, again at a reduced price. Because some of them didn't come up. And then this was a bunch of corms that I never got around to planting. And so we're fingers crossed that it will work. And if not, we will do that next year. Now, let me just tell you what I think is the grander vision for this area. What I'm thinking is that we're going to make a great big raised garden in this area. We'll have 1 garden bed right here, then 2 longer ones going that way. We will actually rework, this was our compost pile. We're actually going to rework that, but I think I'm going to leave it as a mound. We'll just clean it up a little bit. I'll put some dark cloth over it for the winter time to kill any of the weeds and make sure that it like heats up. But then what I want to do is make that a place where we just grow things like squashes and zucchini, because it'll have nice good space. But I'll do a path right through it, so there's kind of like 2 mounds. And then on the other side, I'll do some more garden beds and perhaps even a little greenhouse. So kind of exciting times. We're just trying to think of the future and how we could use this property in a much more innovative way because we have the space to grow things here. And we now have all the hoses to make it work. So we're excited about seeing how things could progress. And that's our little river down there. So anyways, thanks a lot for joining me this month and with this tour of Riverbend. And I'm so delighted to be able to show you what's going on here. Take care, everyone. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. And if you have any questions or inspiration or ideas and things we could do to enhance this garden, I'd certainly love to hear from you. Take care. Bye now.
Be sure to hit that subscribe button and follow along. We'd love to have you for this wonderful journey as we adventure into homesteading and all different things that have to do with the beauty of food and nature and how it all comes together to build a beautiful, fulfilling life. Take care, everyone.